This week marks the official start of the fall movie season. Among the movies audiences are looking forward to is an adaptation of Stephen King's It. Superheroes will come together on the screen in Justice League, and George Clooney will show off his work behind the camera with Suburbicon. Erik Davis is the managing editor at Fandango, and he joins us. Eric, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
All right, we've been talking about it all morning.
Yes.
It.
Yes.
You think this is it?
It is it. You know, I was shocked at how great this movie is. I'm not a big horror fan. I'm not a big Stephen King guy. But this film just has this great throwback sensibility. It's super scary. It's funny. It's romantic. It feels like something we would have gotten in the 80s, maybe even from somebody like Steven Spielberg. The kids are all great. You know, and in this era where shows like Stranger Things on Netflix are causing a lot of waves, this movie really kind of fits in with that, I think. And so if you're a fan of that, I think you'll really like it.
What's it rated?
It's rated R. Yeah, and you know, a couple of years ago, this would have been PG-13, but now studios are leaning into the R rating a little bit more. Well, they're seeing success. You know, we started seeing it with comedies a few years back, The Hangover, Bridesmaids. Then we saw it with the superhero movies, Deadpool, Logan. Now the horror movies. You know, right now I feel like we're seeing some of the best horror movies ever made are being made right now. Leaning into the R rating really helps it, and I think it's going to help it at the box office.
I'm too scared to go see those.
The book was incredibly scary, and I'm suspecting that this is going to be based on the trailer.
Yeah. It is. You know, 27 years ago is when the miniseries came out. 27 years in the book is how long it takes before it comes back.
Wow.
So,
a lot of movies we're talking about here based on true stories.
Yes.
Coming out here, right? Goodbye, Christopher Robin, Molly's Game.
Yes.
This is one of the trends for fall.
Yeah, usually a big trend in fall. Molly's Game, starring Jessica Chastain. This is from writer-director Aaron Sorkin. This is Aaron Sorkin's directorial debut, in my opinion, one of the great writers of our time, based on the real story of Molly Bloom, a.k.a. the Poker Princess. If you remember her from a while back, she was an Olympic-class skier who got injured and then became, like, embroiled into the high-stakes underground poker scene with celebrities. And, you know, Jessica Chastain is so great at playing these high-powered, independent, powerful women who know what they want, know how to get it. Pairing her with Aaron Sorkin's dialogue is like a match made in cinematic heaven. Really looking forward to that. Excuse the pun, I'm going all in on that one. Goodbye, Christopher Robin, the real story of Winnie the Pooh, how Winnie the Pooh came together, which is a fascinating story, takes place post-World War I, about the fractured relationship between a father and a son. That little boy, of course, the real-life inspiration of Christopher Robin. So, complicated history for Pooh Bear and his friends, but definitely one to check out.
So George Clooney, reuniting with the Coen brothers. Every time they get together, they make incredible films. What are you expecting this time?
Yeah, this is George Clooney back as director, Matt Damon, Julianne Moore, Oscar Isaac star. This is actually based on a Coen brothers script from the 1980s. Believe it or not. Also loosely based on a real-life story that took place in suburbia, Levittown, Pennsylvania, 1957, about a model suburban community that rioted when a black family moved in. So this is where this film kind of takes place in this world. Just premiered at the Venice Film Festival. George Clooney says it was an angry film for an angry country.
Wow. A lot of buzz for Blade Runner 2049.
Yes, let's nerd out over Blade Runner and superhero movies. We've got Thor coming out, Justice League. What do you think? What do you
you know, Blade Runner 2049, I'm hoping for a sci-fi masterpiece. Personally, you know, the director, I think, is one of the most exciting directors right now, a guy by the name of Denis Villeneuve. He directed last year's Arrival, as well as Sicario. Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling, Jared Leto. Looks visually amazing. Thor Ragnarok, this is the third Thor movie. Look for a colorful Thor, funnier Thor, guy by the name Taika Waititi directed it. He made one of my favorite movies of the last few years, What We Do in the Shadows. So look for Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Kate Blanchett is the villain in Thor, so that's exciting. And then Justice League, it's like DC's Avengers. This is all of them in one film. Superman, Batman.
But are you hearing that it's going to be good?
You know what? I'm hearing that
You're
Gal
still
Gadot,
going, Vlad.
I know. You're right.
You know what?
Is absolutely right. I'm still going.
You know what? Wonder Woman is in it. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
That's it.
Hot off of her summer. I think that's the draw, in my opinion.
That's the line I use from Jules in Pulp Fiction. I'm going.
I'm going.
I'm going. Erik Davis, thank you, my friend, as always.